Clearly, I am not a fat ass. I am active brain and lip smacking, peach deep, sometimes too aggressive in its honesty, and heart sweet, that loves wholly and
it still wasn't cutting it. I think when I worked the most hours ever as an employee in that industry, I got my smallest check because I then learned about taxes and how, you know, certain times you work more and it'll take you into a new tax bracket. So just not knowing everything about health as I was working in the wellness industry, thinking I was being healthy, eating, you know, chicken and vegetables. I ended up one day getting a pain, which I thought was an appendix rupture, and went to the hospital and realized it were my ovaries, which through that process and my journey of healing, I take it as my experience to be able to relate to the people that I come to serve, that I come to this experience to serve, but it just turned into something totally different. So I healed that by doing research on my own, finding the things that worked for me, and that led me to a plant-based lifestyle. And also in that journey, I had to shed so many things, not just the things that I ate, but just my perspective on how I was going to get to the levels that I wanted to accomplish to be the business owner and the businesswoman that my family wanted me to be. So that led me to entrepreneurship, and of course to studying money and how money works and understanding the money game. So I don't want to take too much time. I know we have another amazing speaker, Ebonique, can't wait to hear all about her, but just want to give you a little bit of my background, starting in wellness, helping women deal with the issues that I experience on a health level. And then now I get to help women, families, entrepreneurs get healthy on a physical level and also on a financial level. Thank you so much. Share that this platform is wonderful, and I'm excited to work with so many different women because our company also works with, it's like majority 50% women, which you don't see in the financial industry. So I'm excited to meet all of you and learn what you do. I'm always here to bring value to others, regardless of what you do. If you're an entrepreneur, a person just living in this existence, you know, I think everything happens for a reason. So I'm excited to be here and to learn from all of you and connect for whatever purpose it is that we're here for today and moving forward.
I really do appreciate you, Drea, for being such a boss with the way that you were able to carry that over with my technical difficulties. I do appreciate you, and it's a clear representation of the fact that you are so inspirational in your endeavors. The fact that you were able to transition us. Ebonique, I would like for you to please take the floor. Ebonique is the owner, CEO of Naturally Perfect Shop. I'd like for you to expand on what your items are and how you came to doing what you do. Ebonique, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Things happen. We understand the technical difficulties, you know, Murphy's Law, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Drea, I love what you're doing. I'd love to get in touch with you and learn some more about PHP and all of those endeavors. I am, first and foremost, my highest position is mother. I'm a mother of 3, and I'm a teacher. I'm a public school teacher, middle school teacher, and an entrepreneur every day. My initial first thing I wanted to do is serve. I just want to help people. So I was that, you know, fresh out of college. I want to help you person. I joined ACS, Children's Services, as a caseworker. And I saw so many children in despair and just in, you know, in utter sadness and pain that I wanted to help them in a different way. I became a teacher, got my master's, and transitioned to teaching. Along the way, I was working in retail for about 7 years of doing my master's part-time as a mom and full-time going to school and making it happen. And I thought to myself, I could do this. I'm doing this for somebody else. I'm running somebody else's shop for, you know, their $1 million shop, and I can have my own $1 million shop. And just kind of, I didn't see it. You only could do what you can see, what you can visualize. I didn't see it for myself as yet. So go into the career of a teacher, and I still am a teacher, and I love my students. I love every single one of my kids. So I decided, with a little bit of motivation from my mother, to embark on it by myself, you know, army of one. I am the shipping department, customer service, manufacturer, of everything. So what I do is I make body products, hair products, conditioner, shampoo from scratch with these hands in my kitchen, and I make custom formulas for any and everyone. So it's more like a conversation instead of a sales pitch. So I might say, Gabriel, so what are your goals for your hair today? What would you like to do with your skin? Well, tell me what's going on. And we'll have that conversation. I customize a bottle of shampoo for you, a body wash, soap, a bar of soap. And I make everything with your smell, with the color that you want. You know, so you'll leave in about 2 weeks after you place the custom order with me with a bottle of shampoo, conditioner, a body butter, whatever products you'd like with your particular Gabriel or Chery or Andrea smell. And you can add, subtract, whatever you like, but we do that together in a conversation. So I love that. That's great. Most recently, I've been doing a lot with Amazon and FBA, selling on Naturally Perfect products there. I sell out of CMOS, CMOS gel, but I try to add the customization as well. So I can make any flavor that somebody would like. So I'll do hand to hand or a lot through Amazon. Still an army of one, but getting it done. And I definitely believe in where energy flows, focus grows. Where energy flows, focus goes. So I've been focused on wealth building and management because I've realized that I can serve more people and help more people with money in my pocket than without. So I want to build my wealth, and I've learned the 3 ways to be successful in America. I think there's a formula as the daughter of an immigrant mom, my mom's from Guyana, that we came in to help people into this country and to be service oriented as well as our families. And we know to do that, at least I'm speaking for myself and my family, we know how to do that by being that worker, being that 9 to 5. I go to work every day. I'm a good employee. Why aren't I getting ahead? So I've decided to continue to serve, continue to teach, and also teach my students how to start businesses. And if I can teach them when they're in the 6th grade how to do it, when they're 26 like me, when they're 26 like me, they can duplicate it. So I'm teaching them the formula. So I have a huge interest right now in the financial world, and I'm educating myself about investing, about business ownership, and about real estate. Myself, my children, my dog, anyone who would listen. I have a group of small children, including my daughter and my goddaughters, who I recruited / bribe / they come now because they like to, who are starting their business, proud of me, and starting to market and start their LLC and start their own shop from scratch. I can do it for them, but they wouldn't learn as much. So I'm teaching them how to do it from point A to point B, from what is the need, what are the core of the people that you want to serve, what's a problem that you want to solve, to get it on market, to making $1 from it, to now it's $1 million. So my daughter's 12 now, and she can speak financial language confidently. She knows what an asset is. She knows how to start her business. She knows what a DBA is. She knows why it's important. So my nonprofit with the same name, Proud of Me, are for initially young girls. I was a young girl, my daughter's a young girl, and that's who I wanted to service. But most recently I've been hearing, offers or what about my boys? What about me? What about adults? Who else can you help? Can you give me some guidance? Can I call you and I'll check in with you once a week? And I say, no, I'll call you because I want you to win. We're all businesses. By the standard definition, just you pursuing $1, you leaving your home every day, or maybe you haven't left your home in this Corona situation we're in, just the pursuit of $1, technically makes you a business in America. So we should all empower ourselves and make sure that we're benefiting from that. Everyone should have a DBA going, or LLC, or something, from the littlest ones to the big ones. Let's get that 13-month-old to work and thinking about how they can market themselves. And that's what I'm about right now. So I went from servicing students to how can I build my wealth to service them better, to a nonprofit, which is a kind of a long through line, but that's where I am now.
Great.
Ebonique. I'm super excited to be here with you guys, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. so many terms that you use that I'm not even familiar with, right? It just shows the creative genius that's brewing inside of your mind, establishing that financial mindset is something that I'm very, I'm not as, I guess, as, what's the word I'm looking for? I would like to know more. I could be more educated in that topic. So when I spoke to you, hearing you speak, I was like, okay, maybe I need to take that online course. Maybe I need to read that book on, financial building, et cetera, et cetera. So, I thank you for sharing, and I thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much. I do have a few more questions, but before I go on, I'd like to ask Ebonique and Andrea to please put your information in the chat so that people can know how to get in contact with you, as far as Instagram, if you're on Facebook, all social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube, if you have a YouTube page. Please share all aspects of being able to get in contact with you. And I'd also like to ask my wonderful attendees, if there's anyone who would want to ask a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Or if you right now, I can give you the opportunity. The floor is yours. If you'd like to unmute yourself and ask a question of Ebonique or Andrea, please feel free to do so. Any takers? No? Okay. So the importance of attaining financial stability, wealth is great, but the pursuit of it is my objective. How do you go about doing it? I spoke to Ebonique last night while we were kind of just, gathering ourselves for this circle. And she said, well, on the self-care topic, I don't know if I really do too much of that, right? And that's my main thing. I guess that's my business. I sell self-care and self-love because it's so important for one to be very strong, both mentally, spiritually, physically, all three, in order for you to keep pushing towards your goals. So she did mention to me, and I'll open it up to Andrea, but she did mention to me that she exercises every day. That's her me time. And she does a Monday facial. I love that because she says those things are non-negotiable. So Andrea, I'd like for you to give us some of your non-negotiables on how you keep yourself afloat, knowing how it is on a day-to-day grind, especially being in finance. I'm sure you need that me time. So how do you fit it in, and what do you do for the me time?
That's a great question. I think no one really likes the real answer, but if someone's really an entrepreneur, you have to accept the fact that there is no work-life balance. You make it work. You fit everything in. What's your priority is what's gonna, take precedence. So you just have to be clear about what's important to you. I live based on what's important to me. So I have a business plan. And my business plan includes my health goals, my family goals, my financial goals, and I make sure that the things I'm doing are aligned with those priorities. So if I'm not spending time, getting massages, it's probably because the thing that I was doing, I set as a higher priority. Now, do I love massages? Yes. Do I get massages? Not as much as I used to, because the more I set a certain goal that's financial or business wise, then to me, I'm fulfilled and I'm renewed in seeing the progress of that goal being accomplished. So what are some things that I always do? I always stay plant-based. And that's because when I'm not plant-based, my body tells me in the sense of pathologies coming up. Like I said, I was vegan only because I got cysts on my ovaries. I went back to chicken, after they went away. And the doctor told me to do all these different things. I just didn't want to do that. But then when I went back to chicken, it came back. So I said, okay, for me, my body doesn't respond well when I don't do certain things. It's a formula. So I'm always in awareness of where I'm at and what I want. and paying attention to the results I'm getting. It's not just enough for something to make me feel good in the moment. I have to pay attention to what the consequence of that is, you know? So if it works for you, I say keep doing it. And the moment that you find it doesn't work for you, stop. That's my motto. So for me, when I'm high raw, like eating a lot of vegetables and salads and fruits, I feel better. Like when I work out, which I do not every single day, but I do work out consistently, at least I'd say 3 times a week, but I don't like count it like that, you know, then I find out my performance is better. I can get through the workout better. I don't have as much soreness the next day. But I'll tell you one thing, if I go 5 days without working out, I get cranky. So that's something, I'm just being aware of yourself. It's not going to be perfect, but you just have to pay attention when things are not working, when you're out of alignment. Adjust, stop, and adjust. And then I also meditate. I'm big on meditation. So one non-negotiable for me is waking up with certain things in my mind. If certain people are negative, you don't get to talk to me before 12 o'clock. Like I have to fill myself up first. And then as I'm going to sleep, I'm putting on a recording of my, meditations or affirmations so that it can sink into my subconscious and continue to set the groundwork on a neurological level for me of what I actually want to see in my waking life. Because you got to think of all the years from 0 to maybe 10, 15, 18 that we've been programmed by our family, our moms, what we've seen, what we've been told about money, about success, about wealthy people. So I work very diligently on reprogramming my mind, brainwashing myself with what I want to hear and experience in my life to combat all the other apps and downloads that were put in there from childhood. So I'd say definitely what I eat, I'm conscious about that. Getting physical activity on a consistent basis weekly, and then what I ingest mentally. That's the most important things for me.
I love that you said everything that you said resonated. Those are things that I deeply advocate and try to implement myself on a day-to-day level because it's so important. And those are the things that do allow you to remain in alignment. And in essence, those are the things that are self-care and self-love. I think before I pass it on to Ebonique, I just want to say to everyone here, I think we have a misconception of self-care being bubble baths and endless bottles of wine and chocolate and, Netflix and chill all night. It could be that, right? But there's a balance, I love what Drea said, when you start putting all those things in, your body will tell you, hey, sis, enough. We've done enough of the chocolate, we've done enough of the wine. Now it's up to you to listen and transition over to maybe plant-based for a couple of days until those toxins flush out of your system. Maybe, vegan or vegetarian, whatever it is, or just, kind of say, okay, maybe I'll pause on wine for 2 weeks. Whatever it is for you, like Drea said, whatever works for you, right? Whatever resonates with you. But those are the things that are self-care. It is a conscious effort to care for yourself. It's not this autopilot that a lot of us are kind of trained to think that we need to stay stuck in. It's just conscious decisions that we do daily. And I appreciate you for sharing those conscious decisions that you do daily because you're very ritualistic with them, right? They're written into your programming, so you can't miss a beat. That way you're able to always stay in alignment. So thank you. Ebonique, I want to switch over to you. And I know you think just the exercise and the facial is it, but it is it. Because I don't get exercise every day. That's not my self-care. My self-care consists of other things, but I want you to please express how you fit that in with 3 kids, a business, homeschooling, remote learning, because there are moms who need to hear that to know that they can do it as well. Please share.
While you're touching on homeschooling and remote learning, I actually went through like everyone else and around the world in America, went through the process of remote learning with the kids. And even as a teacher, I felt like, I'm gonna, this is hard. Oh my goodness. So in spring, I did it and I realized I was teaching my kids the lesson. So they were getting work from the teachers, but I was teaching them the lesson in full. So I withdrew my kids from school 100%. Like I just put them in full-time homeschooling, and I homeschool my 2 kids. I have 3 kids. I have a 12-year-old girl and a 6-year-old son, 2-year-old son. So the 2 big ones, I homeschool them after I teach my class of middle schoolers. I have grade 6 and grade 7. And I just find that works really well for us. And their education is tailor-made for them. So I'm such a homeschool advocate at this point, because it's not a curriculum for, all, she's in the 7th grade, my big girl. It's not a curriculum just for, all 7th grade. It's a Alyssa Bell Emilsen curriculum. So I'm having a great time with homeschool, even though I do feel like that pull out my hair moment at about 3 in the afternoon. But my self-care routine is slim. It's few and far in between, because I'm so driven on my businesses, and I'm so aggressive in it that I actually have 2 nights that I don't sleep. I'll wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'll stay up all day, the whole night. And then I'll go to sleep by about 3 o'clock the next day, because I'm packing orders from the weekend. So I make sure, like, I put the family and the business first. So for me, my self-care, I have to pencil it in a little bit more frequently. I do exercise every single day because I have an awesome trainer who I meet on Zoom and doesn't let me slack off. And the days that she's not available or I don't work with her, I do like a kettlebell workout. I do a meditation or a yoga like stretch, but I do something to thank God for my body moving every day, for my mental health and for my spirituality, because I have to, and for my sanity. It helps me clear my mind. So myself, my trainer, and Beyonce on the YouTube for some music. I clear my brain that way, and if I didn't, I don't know where I would be. My makeup, since we've been quarantining, and one of the benefits of Corona is that I have a facial care routine that is like, on Mondays I have an acne face mask. On Tuesdays I do the hyaluronic peel. On Wednesdays, like, I have it written out like that on the boxes and in my medicine cabinet, because it's important to me to get that like 15-minute mask. I deserve it. And an hour workout. So I do take that time for me. But as far as like sleep and bubble baths, as you mentioned, and chocolate, I could be better at that. I deserve those things as well. So I'll sneak those in, sparingly. But my face care, like my facial care system, is to be followed. I need it, and my workout.
You're very locked into that, and that's very
yes.
What Drea said as well. Those are your non-negotiables.
Absolutely.
Is what keeps us with. I told my best friend the other day, she was like, why do you do these? Well, no, she didn't actually ask me. I told her the reason why I stay committed to doing the sister circles is because they keep my head above water. I myself have 3 kids, and one of them is on the spectrum. So every day comes with its, wonderful obstacles. So, you want to always stay sharp with the mental wealthiness. I know a lot of times when I say that throws off people, but the term mental health I do use, but I tend to use mental wealthiness more because I think a lot of times we associate mental health with the lack thereof. So I will refer to me and all of my sisters as being mentally wealthy. So the key to staying mentally wealthy is to do the stuff that resonates with you and the things that love, hence the sister circle. But to add to that for our attendees, it is the bubble baths, it is all of that. But another thing I saw in the comments is affirmations. I want to remember who said that. If I can't see you, can you just chime in? I think it was Miriam. Was it Miriam? Hi, Miriam. You don't want to unmute?
Oh. Hi.
I want you. Hi, Miriam. Thank you for joining us. I'd like for you to share with us what you mean by affirmations and how often do you do them and how important are they to you?
Okay, well, thank you for allowing me to speak on the sister chat. My affirmations are actually written all over I have a large mirror. I'm from Florida, and in Florida you have these long mirrors. So it gives me an opportunity to use that to my advantage. So I have prayers. I have different affirmations that, I'm looking in the mirror, I'm brushing my teeth, washing my face. I do that before I actually do my daily routine. I also have index cards. And in the business that I'm in, there's always a why. And I have my why written up there. I have my family, and I'm specific as to the name of my siblings and what I want to give to them. And I do that every day because I look at it. Sometimes I do it, you go to the bathroom a lot, right? Um, and so I read them, and I read them over and over. And sometimes my affirmations, I know them by heart because you say them so often. And that just kind of, it's like your prayer. It motivates you. It's fuel to your body, to your mind, to your soul to get going, because this is why you're doing what you're doing. So I love it because I have to center for myself, and then the sides are full of index cards and prayers, and it's awesome. I even have my CEO's affirmations up there, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, my CEO had 10 things that he had in his shower. He laminated that in the shower, in his car, like when you put the visor down, it's there. And yeah, I said, you know what, if it worked for him, I'm gonna take some of his, and I'm doing it. Yes, listen, if you rub against someone that's doing good things, something's gonna rub off on me.
Nice.
So, I'm a true believer in affirmations.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
By you sharing that. And I love that you said that you have them written out. It's important for you to see them all the time for it to solidify. It's constant repetition. So thank you so much, Miriam, for joining us and for sharing. Thank you. Sorry that I put you on the spot. I'm going to ask the next question of Andrea. And I'm sure you did touch on that a little bit, but I'm thankful that Miriam, included it in her statement. It's definitely where I wanted to kind of leave us off. And it's the importance of prayer to you. I know you said meditation, but Andrea, when you do meditate, is there a communication to a higher power? And do you feel like it helps you to stay connected to your purpose?
Absolutely. So it's when we first started talking about me joining the Sister Circle today, we were talking a little bit about our spiritual roots, and I will share the thing that we were talking about, where when it comes to the feeding that our spiritual community gives us, it's very important. So I was raised in the church. I would say now, as I have, continued to grow, I don't attend church. I'll say that, but I do have a very strong spiritual practice. My roots are in church. I used to go to church every single week, multiple times a week. And as an entrepreneur, I think it's not a matter of like scheduling, but definitely the way that I move around, to be as, committed in a church community as some people will do and should do for them. That's something that I would not be able to commit to. So that's just speaking to the entrepreneur side. Sometimes you have to set your priorities. And I think there's nothing wrong with knowing I'll use the word God because that's what I'm comfortable with. I hope it doesn't offend anyone, but understand that I'm talking about the totality of things, the aspect that connects all of us, that is everything that we know and understand and everything that we don't know and understand, seen and unseen, right? So I believe that I have to be where I'm supposed to be, and that's my spiritual practice. So when I do take the time to go within and have that mental dialogue, I am saying, or if you say praying, I'm saying in my prayer, am I where I'm supposed to be? Speak to me clearly. Help me to understand what I'm supposed to do next. And it hurt growing up in the church to feel like I had to go out and do something else other than show up to choir practice and go to Bible study and all those other things. But now I feel more comfortable with it. I don't have that guilt, and I just walk in my purpose and my understanding of what I should be doing. There's many times when I'm talking to someone one-on-one and I have chills all over me. I just feel I'm vibrating on a whole other level, and I can tell that this is a real divine moment. You know, so many times I'll hear many of the other women speaking, and even Miriam and her grace and just beauty. I love it. And I sent her a private message. You're amazing. You know, you get to feel that connection, that deep essence within all of us, you know, and then you say, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing my work. So I try my best to always ask, am I hearing you well? If not, speak clearer, because I can't hear you, you know? And am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? If I felt like at the second in my prayers, when I pray, you know, I ask those things. Then when I meditate, I try my best to listen, to stop the mental chatter and listen. And whether I'm in silent meditation or I'm going about my life and I have a moment of an idea or something comes to me, if I feel that God is leading me to do something other than what I've been doing, I try my best to always do that thing. Because I find that when I don't listen to the answers of my prayers, because it might not come through the way I thought it should, that's when trouble starts. That's when business things and, you know, scheduling and, you know, prosperity doesn't come the way that it could have, you know? So that's my prayer, just to help me understand better what I'm supposed to be understanding. Help me to be clear about what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Help me to be the vessel for the energy and speak through me. Literally, before we started this, I said, just help me to be a vessel, fill me, and speak the truth that you want to through me. I don't quite understand all the aspects of God, but I'm grateful for this experience. And just with that whole thing alone, I can't begin to think that I you know, I understand everything. I'm just gonna keep trying my best to be in alignment, to be used, you know, and so far, so good, you know. I'm enjoying the process, you know. So that's my prayer. I hope that was clear.
Yes, and I appreciate you for sharing it, because again, that resonates with me as well. Start off in Catholic, but yet somehow becomes a little bit more spiritual down the line, because it resonates more because it's not as guilt-ridden. But I don't want to be too specific because, you know, I don't want to offend anyone. I love everyone.
I'm sorry to interject. I forgot I was going to say something else. Could I share one more little tidbit?
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about the feeding, yes, that's the spiritual feeding. And I appreciate my roots and what raised me to be the person that I am right now. But also there were aspects of the feeding of the food that you get every time that you go there that created the habits that create the continued disease and pathologies that we see in our communities. And that was something that we were talking about before this, you know, this actual event, just saying, you know, it's important to get fed spiritually, but you have to be cognizant of what people are feeding you and do what you are led to do. You know, Abraham was not like, if you read the Bible, but there's a story of Abraham, and, you know, some people might have said, you're crazy to go and think that it's okay to try to kill your son. It's like, well, I'm going to do and trust that God is speaking to me and I'm supposed to do what I'm told to do and just trust the process. You know, so when I'm told, or if I'm looking at my body, this body that God gave me, and I see that every time I eat what my family likes to see me eat, I get sick. Something has to be wrong there. And there was a lot of, you know, pressure in that sense. And it's like, oh no, like I've been called Antichrist and demon and all types of things from people who mean me well.
Right.
You know, so I just say that I understand that every individual has their own journey, and we'll all have to be living in our purpose and listening and following the instruction of our highest self. And I just wanted to share that little tidbit too, because I know that it's about spirituality and prayer, but at the same time, all those things are framed based on what we were raised in, you know. So we'll pray, you know, and we were taught how to pray by someone, but I think that the spirit of God trumps, you know, everything. And sometimes you hear that nudging, those words of what to do when you do pray. But if it conflicts with what you were taught by people and tradition, then we might not necessarily be moved to take action on that, especially probably with many of you, to start a business, to be an entrepreneur in a world full of people who are mostly under the poverty line and definitely not entrepreneurs.
Well, I appreciate you expanding on that. It's really important, which is in line with what I was going to say, which is to develop a connection outside of the realms of what you were force fed, because those force feedings can be riddled with fear. Again, unless you guys want me to, I won't really expand too much on that because I don't want to offend anyone. But we as people from the Caribbean tend to kind of just be drowning in fear and won't take a stand and say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna.
We can't hear you.
I can't hear.
Did we lose audio?
Yes.
These are things that we have to, the generational curses that we speak of.
I'm sorry. Can you go back? We all couldn't hear.
Oh, really? I'm not on. Can you hear me now? I'm not on mute. Oh, okay, maybe my mouth is too far away.
No.
Oh, we can hear you clearly now.
For a minute.
It's important for us to be conscious of our connection to love versus fear. And that's to sum up everything that I was saying before. It's important to, as you grow with that connection, to start to identify the voice of love and the voice of fear. And where the voice of love pushes you is what I think we need to kind of embrace, regardless of what we were taught in whatever household, whether it be Caribbean or otherwise. But it's good to kind of get to a place of having the awareness of abundance and knowing that there are no limitations and no restrictions other than the ones that you impose upon yourself. And sometimes it takes moving away from our traditional programming to realize and recognize that abundance is actually for all of us, regardless of race, regardless of origin. But I think I would like to use that as a segue to Ebonique and ask you, how do you maintain a spiritual practice? Because I didn't forget about you. I'd like to know what it is that you do to infuse prayer, and how do you stay connected to your higher power?
I was raised Catholic, Caribbean, of course, and very Catholic home. My mom, single mom home. And my mom is probably the most religious, hardcore person I've known in my life. And she would say, where 2 or 3 of us are gathered, God is here. If you have faith like a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So I've always thought of myself as a creator with those words behind, oh my goodness, so many other sayings and Bible verses. But with all that programming that I've had from my mother in my head, I've always thought of myself as a creator. Kind of like if I put my mind to something, it's coming to me. I'm coming to it, it's coming to me. It's just a matter of time. I don't have to push for it. I get pulled to whatever is out here for me, and it gets pulled to me. So I've always felt of myself as a creator. If Jesus lives in me, if God lives in me, and he made all of this, I can make my future. I can create my destiny with, of course, I'm sure it's pre-planned, but I can find it. And it doesn't involve me being unhappy. I should have an amazing one, right? So I've always kind of felt of myself as a creator. I went to church, went to Catholic school, Catholic college, Catholic school through my whole life, taught at Catholic school. And the more that I've grown, the more that I've, aged, matured, I've realized God is everywhere. God is in me. I've lost my mother recently, and probably for the first time in my life questioned, the existence of God. But still, I pray daily, and my prayers are more so like thank you. Thank you for all the things that I have in my life and all the things that are going to come to me. Thank you for the time I've had with my mother. And she's a huge, huge influence to now in my spirituality. So that's what it feels like for me to be spiritual. So it's no longer the same. And everything I say is the same dies. We have to grow and mature in our lives. So my growth has been from very strict Catholicism to just, I know wherever I am, the creator's here, and I'm a creator as well. So I make sure I put all those intentions before I get out of bed, literally. Before I put my feet on the floor, I say thank you. And I set intentions for the day of what I'm gonna do. And maybe that might move me to make an intention for a month from now or 3 months from now, and I write things down. I feel like once it pops into my head, then great, that's the seed, but I make sure this might sound silly to anyone who doesn't practice it, but I write it down to the point that there's nothing left into me. I'm going to become CEO of the M&M company. I'm going to make all the M&Ms purple. They're going to be fantastic, different shades of purple. I'm going to make $1 billion, and then I'll give free M&Ms to people. Like whatever that dream is, I write it down to the T as if it's here. And I kind of close my little pink book and I know that it's done. And I'll get pulled to it and it'll get pulled to me. So that's what it looks like at this time.
I love.
Thank you.
You said, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you feeling safe to share everything that you shared. My condolences to you. And I think it's very important to say that your mom is strengthening every bit of your walk. And she's going to push you into that $1 billion bracket, and she's going to be a part of the walk with you. So thank you so much, Ebonique, for sharing that. I'm happy that you said the prayer part in taking a different form, taking a different shape. We go through our lives kind of, thinking that there's a stencil and it can't, again, this fear, this template, and it has to start off with whatever it was that we were taught in school. But prayer could just be help. Prayer could just be thank you. Prayer is an affirmation. Prayer is a set intention. Prayer is a mantra. It is whatever you are speaking. That's why they say your words are impeccable. So when you speak with wisdom, speak with awareness of what it is that you want in your life. So, if every day you're saying, gosh, man, my life sucks, then so it shall be, right? And conversely, if you speak with favor and you said how you write things down. I love that, because we are the co-creators, and it's important for us to activate our power. I don't want to keep that, because I told you guys that I was going to limit my talking because I want the floor to be yours, because your wisdom is far better to be shared, because I want everyone to kind of help me grow, because this is part of my growth process. I put in the chat that I'm opening up the floor. So I'd like for everyone to please join the circle. And in joining the circle, I'd like for each person who is daring to be brave to share what they do every day to stay connected with their truth. And with their truth being whatever that means to you. But if it is taking a deep breath and saying thank you when you wake up, if it's setting an intention, if it's saying that affirmation in the mirror, if it's just giving yourself a hug, whatever it is, I'm going to randomly choose someone since we're not all raising our hands. So I'm going to start with Ms. Annette. Hi, Ms. Annette. Thank you for sharing with us in your time. And I'd like for you to tell us what you do to get yourself ready for the day.
All right, thank you, and good evening, everyone. And I'm thankful for being here. This is time that we're here with us ladies in the evening. But for me to start my day, as I said, 4 o'clock, as soon as my eyes open up, that's the first thing I'm thankful for. I can see. I look for, could I leave and I drive my husband crazy? I sleep with the TV on because I have to have something going because my mind keeps continually thinking. So if I have something to hear something, I got to keep thinking. But as soon as I turn on the news, I'm like, okay, it's time to turn to something else because I'm thinking, you hear so many bad things. I pray in the morning, before it's 4 o'clock come, that's my first thing is starting my day off with a prayer. And thankful God, that, he didn't have to wake up that morning. And I started that with my parents, knowing that I lost my father at a young age, my mother, I was 28 years old, my father, I was 12. And just seeing, like you're saying, having to lose parents. And then you know that you have other people, but then you have to know where did you come from? How did you think about the things you had to do? And I think about them every day. Because my mom, that's one thing I had to get out of being afraid. Because my mother passed away when she was 63. Thank God, I just turned 62 this year. I lost a sister and she was in her 60s. So my biggest thing this year was if God would give me this chance to still be here, anything I had to do, everything I have to take on with my church, I always take, anybody that can talk to me to get me through things that I go through. Because like I said, sometimes I have to look at my mom's picture or my sister's pictures or my dad, just to make sure, they're with me. And I feel comfortable when I have that thought, talking with them. It might tell you days and things that are hard. And I always make sure, because my husband and I, we have a 22-year-old. I'm saying, God, please let me be here. Help me do what I have to do, keep myself well, seeing the doctors, because, like I said, there's so many different things that my family my grandmother was born in 1895. And my grandfather, he was like 1893. So we so much culture from the island that was taught to us. And like I said, there's so many people we have to pass this on to, and we hope that our young ones listen. This is what I try to keep. I say, God, just let me get through every day. And I say everything when things get tough, I say, Lord, have mercy. As soon as somebody get in my way, I'll be like, Lord, have mercy, because that person, I got to pray, because I would say whatever I have to say, and it may not get there, but it'd be like, give me Lord, have mercy.
Yeah. And that alone is a prayer, right? A solid
works
prayer.
With prayer. That's the first 3 words. And they said the small in the scriptures, the shortest scripture is I forgot the words, but there's one that I have to find in Isaiah, but there's one of the things I always read. And like I said, it's one thing you have to know what it is and what scriptures and which one brings me through. Like they said, Isaiah is the longest one in the book. It's 66 books. So I have to find which one in those scriptures and I mark it down.
Yeah.
And every day. But I think, I'm so thankful. Every time I'm happy to be around our women, because we're the ones that go through a lot and we hold on to a lot. We go through a lot. And we never know what we're going through unless we talk about it. And this is, like I said, I'm thankful. I'm always, like I said, the first word is thankful for me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Annette. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you for being here. I recognize you from the Wind Down Wednesday, so I am familiar with who you are. And I knew that you would have something, to provide. So thank you for sharing and thank you for being here. I'm going to be like that bad teacher and pick on whoever. Oh, someone with a hand up. Thank you, Gabriel. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello, everyone. Actually, my name is Emmy, but my son uses this laptop also, and I must have logged in under him, so he's Gabriel. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I want to say, there are 3 things I can say that help me out to start out my day. Prayer, of course, for me is number 1. In addition to prayer, I do meditate. I don't pray through meditation, but I use meditation just to clear my mind or to relax. Sometimes I meditate and take myself to a favorable place, just to feel good and just listen to nothing or listen to something that's pleasing. And then the third thing I'm learning to do, and I'm working on it, that I do every day is try my best to let go. A few years back, I went through a period of anxiety, which may have been, before I continue, I just wanted to say condolences to those who have lost a parent. And I'm just remembering back when my dad died about 6 years ago, He was sick, and I didn't realize that it was his illness that made me as anxious as I was, but his illness was what brought out the anxiety. But in addition to his illness, the anxiety was triggered by not being able to let go of things. And I didn't realize that I could be controlling without being a controlling person. So I like to be in control of everything happening in my own life. And then I had to realize that I cannot be in control of everything. And so letting go is the third thing I do, which brings me to asking for advice from anyone, or Drea, Ebonique, if you can provide some advice on, for someone who is afraid or of taking on a business of their own, for example. What's your advice? Because we all have different fears. My personal fear is the fear of failure. What's your advice for someone who would like to start their own business? Ebonique, Drea, anyone?
I would say that you're already doing it and you don't know. You're already a business. We all are. We just haven't claimed it in its legal senses yet, and for tax purposes, which we should do. We should make that a goal. And then the next step is to eliminate the word fail. It's not real. It's not a real thing. It's a made up concept. It's a construct that we take from school, that if you got a 75 or if you got a 50, then, oh my God, I failed and it's as bad. It's not real though, because every experience comes with a message. So if you invested in something and then the business closed, you lost that money that you invested in the stock, but you learned, maybe next time I'll do some research. So every failure it should be a failing forward, because it comes with a lesson. It comes with, I'm not going to do that. Natural hair care and skin care products and CMOS products aren't the first thing I've sold. It's probably like the 100th thing I've sold. It's literally probably the 100th thing I've sold. I mean, everything from, I don't know, cupcakes to books to this. Like, if I went down the line, it would be ridiculous. There's something about this and this time where it became a real thing. I just kind of stumbled into it because I was looking for a solution to a problem. And the problem is health and wellness. I wanted everyone to be healthy and wealthy. And I read the ingredients bottles and some moisturizer. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know what red dye 4.5 is. And it just kind of came together at that moment, at that time. So I think just try anything that you're interested in. I think the easiest thing to start with is we all can do a DBA, a doing business as form. Like, we all should do that. That should be like homework tonight. I feel like I'm on my class Zoom, right? I don't want to be that teacher, but it's just like, it's in me at this moment. I feel like everyone should leave here with that message. Do a DBA in your name. So, Emmy, so you would do it, just Google for your state, DBA, doing business as New York. I live in New York. And once you find that form and you fill that form out, you're making a business license or just business for Emmy, last name, Emmy Walker. So now you have kind of two personalities or two entities. You have personal Emmy that collects a paycheck as a worker, and then you are, as you always have been, business Emmy. So now business Emmy is pursuing $1. So when you file taxes in January, February, whenever you want to, you can add on your Schedule C, and any meeting, any lunch, any traveling, as long as it was for business, you can save those, and you are a business. You're pursuing $1 every day. No one's working for free, as far as I know, right? Nobody's working for free. So literally, that's step one. And then whatever you're interested in, you have the slickest bun going right now. So if it's like, maybe a updo tutorial or whatever, you do updos for weddings. Then anything that you purchase, your gel, or this, or you can do consulting for something, for anything that's your interest. So let's go with the updo or the hairdos. So not to say that you're a beautician, because you don't have those licenses, but you can do a consultation for makeup. You can do a consultation for whatever your field is. Say you work at a restaurant, you can be a restaurant consultant. I ran a daycare, and I did run the daycare, and that was my 9 to 5, well, 9 to whenever the people picked up their children. And I also ran a consultant business. So I went to other daycares and I said, well, this is out of code. Well, this is what I can help you with. This is what I did that. So after work, I can leave my pre-K director job and go and make $75 an hour telling other people what to do with their things. And I'm consulting. So I would start there until it hits you, and ponder it. Think about it in your meditation, and it'll hit you. You know, what can I do? What's meant for me? And it'll come. I can promise that.
If I was to add anything, I definitely agree with everything that Ebony just said. I say you have to know that this is going to be new territory for you. I like that you're acknowledging that this is something that makes you uncomfortable. So just always know that you're increasing your capacity. Like, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You have to go into it like that. So then look for people who are in business that you respect and find out their story. They may have written a book, or they might have interviews online. Look at that. And then as you start to see their process, you'll see, oh, that person had struggles as well. That person went through that just like me. I'm actually doing way better in my process. I got to this milestone faster than they did. So start to look and model the other people who are, you know, achieving success in the areas that you want to, so that you can feel, you know, like, hey, it's not that bad. It's uncomfortable, but it's doable. So definitely take action. Just like Ebony said, you have to start. I always think about every time that it gets tough, what's the alternative? Right? If things are not the way that you want it to be right now, even if it's scary to go to the other place, like we look at the other area as if it's some place that's horrible to go to, and like where I'm at right now is paradise, and utopia is not usually, you know? So I just try to remember that the alternative to me going after my dreams is just as uncomfortable of a lifestyle as maybe the things I'll have to expose myself to in achieving the new vision of my lifestyle in it, you know, and go for it. Just take action. Find some people to model, read some books, get some mentors, things like that.
Thank you both.
I want to add, maybe we can change the definition of failing to not trying. The only way you can not succeed is by not trying. The failure of I got a 49, oh my God, I didn't make back my money and my investment. Oh my goodness, I failed. You learn from it. I have tons of product that I've tried to sell in my basement. You know, I had to go through those things.
It's so important to say, though, that, like, I love that you said that there is no failure. There's just, you know, a failure to attempt something, and you know, you got to keep trying. Listen to what Ebonique said. Ebonique said that she's tried to sell like 80 things. You know, I tried to sell t-shirts on Instagram like 5-6 years ago. I tried to do, you know, ABC XYZ. There's so many things that I tried to do, and you know, you kind of get discouraged, right? But you cannot stop. Like the whole plan is to keep pursuing your dreams until your dream is realized. And just put your foot on your own neck. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to stop until whatever I write out, and you find different tools, you find different methods to make these things come true, whether it be a vision board or, you know, to journal everything and then to set intentions every day. With the intentions come the steps that you take, right? So today I will, like you see how she said the MDB, right? MDB. It's MDB. Am I saying that correctly? Thumbs up.
DBA.
So bad. DBA. So tonight I will research a DBA and find out what next steps come after that, right? Because, you know, you have to take the steps. We can wish upon a star until we're blue in the face, but until we start writing down plans and sticking to it and not being afraid to pivot, not being afraid to restart, not being afraid to, like, okay, this page, garbage, start over. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to not get it the first time. It's okay to not get it the 100th time, right? But you're getting something. Every step you take is getting you closer and closer. And there's so much in those steps that's to be had that are glorious. But yeah, thank you for asking that question, Emmy. That was a very good way to segue from where we were into where we are right now. Ladies, I see that the time is 5:09. I try not to take up too much of your time because I know we're all busy. Before I wrap things up, I'd like to ask Andrea or Ebonique to close us out with any final thoughts, any gems, any little, takeaways that we can get from you, any little drops of wisdom that you want to leave with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Because I did want to say something else. I heard from somewhere that what the world needs most is leaders. And to be in this circle with all of you ladies, we know that we are leaders of ourselves, of our families, of our communities. So my thing is, I really want to make leadership as the idea, what we think of it, not this boring thing, but I want leadership to be sexy. I want everybody to think of leadership like they think of Beyonce. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, you know what, I have to be a leader. So the little girl growing up, she's thinking, that person is such a great leader. Look at how, she's able to influence people, or he's able to influence people to do this good thing or that good thing. Look at all the great things that, they are able to put together for their community, for their families, for their lives. I want to be like them, as opposed to, oh, look how great that person's butt lift looks. You know what I mean? So nothing wrong with things looking beautiful, but leadership is beautiful. Leadership is sexy. And I just encourage all of you to continue that movement with me, to make leadership just as cool and sexy and fun and swaggerific as anything else there is out there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love that. Leadership is sexy is your hashtag, by the way. Look up leadership is sexy on Instagram. Thank you so much, Andrea. And Ebonique, did you want to add anything to that?
Well said, Andrea. Thank you for having me. I can be shy, so I was nervous going in, but I'm so happy that I've come on here with you guys and I've met you guys. I've spent the time with you all. What do I want to leave you all with? You guys left me with so much. I don't know. I don't know if I have something amazing. I do want us to keep in mind that we have to, at this point, I think when we're younger, we think of adulthood as like finite, as I'm going to turn 21, or at least I know I did. I'm going to turn 21. I'm going to have my house and my car and everything figured out. But I've learned in this year of stuff that I've been through that we're always growing, and we'll be growing until the last minute. And let's continue to own, as we are all doing, let's continue to own our own education and our own well-being, and continue to grow and change and to take that on. I want you guys to know that and I'm sure maybe this is something that you've heard before, that financial health and well-being was taught in schools. In the early 1900s, it was taken out and replaced with libraries for us to do our own research, because they wanted us, the powers that be, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, wanted us to be workers. Why? Because it's beneficial to them. So if we don't go and grab that knowledge that we're entitled to, I should know how to win in this game that I'm playing. But if we don't know how to do it, and we don't know that what we're lacking, we'll continue to be, not have the recipe, not have the formula. So I encourage everybody to just join me in a financial education exploration trip, and tweet out or share out with me on IG anything that you've learned. Please, add me, hashtag me, whatever, DM me any questions or anything that you've learned, because we can all learn from each other. And to win in America, I feel like those three things are just super duper important. We all need our own business, small, large, medium, whatever you want to call it, lemonade stand. Please create a business. Of course, our real estate and some investment knowledge. We all need those. And early in the pandemic, our wonderful president was giving away $10,000 for you, $10,000 for you through the SBA for people who qualified, who had those things. I didn't know growing up that was the recipe to success in America. We hear this American dream, American dream, American dream. To be entitled and to get those tidbits from the American dream, to get those promised things, we need those three ingredients. So I just want to encourage everybody and all your friends and all your family to educate yourself in real estate, investing in stocks, and open your small business. Do that DBA as soon as possible. It takes a couple months, especially in these pandemic times that we're in, to get back. But once you are able to file your taxes properly, you'll be amazed that as a worker, we're giving back our paycheck in the sum of like 40% annually. And I need all of it. I need the majority of it. Meanwhile, you have people like our president who are paying $750 off of his millions. That's not fair. So in a way, the way for us to be able to take the same advantage and hear that dog whistle to get a $10,000 bonus from the SBA is to have all of our ducks in a row and to have the recipe. So my mission as of the last year has been to educate as many people as I can, not just on functions and signing cosign as I've been doing as a teacher, but like, how can you impact your entire life? How can you get a rule book to the American dream? So when we're 65, when we're 79, 99, I'm trying to live that long. Not only do we look good, but I don't have to go to anybody's job. My job is on this laptop, on my couch forever. So that's what I've learned from the tribulation that I've gone through this year and in this Corona quarantine time, is that I'm 100% in charge of my financial future, and everyone else should be. So that's what I want to leave you guys with, and all my little cousins and all my kids in my group. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Ebonique. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you to all who took the time to be with us today. This concludes our Sister Circle. Stay tuned for the next one, guys. It's going to come soon. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope you have a blessed Sunday. See you guys at the next one. Thank you.